Welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy presents our MLB DFS hitter picks for Friday, June 30th, 2017. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nick from CWE, and I'm here to bring you three of my favorite tournament bats for action tonight. Let's start things out with Jed Lowrie, 7,600 fantasy draft, 2,800 FanDuel, 4K on DraftKings, taking on Mike Foltynewicz as the Braves come to town. Foltynewicz has been up and down this year, but he really struggles with lefties to the tune of a 390 WOBA, 39.2% fly ball rate, 35% hard contact. To me, that spells out great news for Jed Lowrie, who actually has been a very solid hitter this year. Doesn't have the huge power upside, but can get it done. I mean, most players in the MLB can get it done. Most people can hit a home run. That just might not be their specialty, but he's a guy, if you look through the box scores, he's not going to leave you hanging. He's a guy that I feel like worst case scenario is going to drop you 5 fantasy points. Best case scenario is going to drop you 25 fantasy points. Realistically, I'm expecting low-end double digits, but for the price, I love where he sits tonight. Moving on from there, let's talk JD Martinez, 8,700 FanDuel, 3,800 DraftKings, 8,700 fantasy draft, 3,800 FanDuel, 4,500 DraftKings, taking on Josh Tomlin in his 36.6 fly ball rate, 34% hard contact. Look, I mean, we know Tomlin really isn't that great when it comes to pitching. He's a higher fly ball guy, and you don't want to have that when you're taking on guys that can hit the skin off the ball like JD Martinez. Obviously, he's not on that ridiculous pace that he was on when he came off the DL, but he's still very good, and this is a perfect situation for him to come through. I expect to see him have a big game tonight. Perhaps my favorite player on the slate, and I feel like I'm setting myself up for disappointment. Anibal Sanchez, looking at the stats, he's horrible. A lot of that has been in really limited situations, and he hasn't had a full breadth of appearances. And if you look at, he's kind of like Mike Pelfrey. He's a guy you're like, oh, good, he's on the slate, and then you turn around and your team scored 1 run, and you're like, what in the hell is happening here? So I am a little bit worried, but I want to trust the statistics. His 433 WOBA, his 42.3% fly ball rate, his 45.5% hard contact against righties. Edwin Encarnacion at 8,800 on Fantasy Draft, 3,600 FanDuel, 4,600 on DraftKings, to me, just sets up way too well tonight to ignore. I mean, this seems like a situation where he should be able to have his way with Sanchez. The Indians, we know they're one of the more potent lineups. Everything sets up for this to be perfect, but I still have concern because that's just how baseball goes. It really is. Nonetheless, I'm still saying excited about this. I think that Edwin's in for a big game. So to wrap things up, 3 of my favorite tournament options: Jed Lowrie, JD Martinez, Edwin Encarnacion. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check us out on researchfantasy.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Research and Win. And join us again tomorrow.